Greg Ehrenberg here with another PrizePicks video for Awesemo.com. Looking at NFL futures again today, I'm going to be looking at some rushing touchdown props, looking at some quarterbacks, some running backs, over-unders, all that stuff. But if you want to make a deposit over at PrizePicks and make a play on some of these bets, use the promo code Awesemo and get up to a $100 bonus on your first deposit. The first player I'm looking at here is Lamar Jackson for over 7.5 rushing touchdowns. Now, each of the last two seasons, he's fallen short of that mark, 7 touchdowns in each of the last 2. So it's not like he's been that short of the mark. However, there is an expectation that he should see a little bit of an uptick in rushing touchdowns per the projections we have over at Awesemo.com. We actually have Lamar Jackson projected for 11.5 rushing touchdowns compared to all of the players, not just quarterbacks, but quarterbacks, running backs. We have Lamar Jackson projected for the third most rushing touchdowns this season at 11.5. And even if he hasn't been a guy who's scored double-digit touchdowns or massive touchdown totals each of the last couple of seasons, it is encouraging to see just the amount of volume he's getting on the ground. 159 rushing attempts last year, 176 the year before. So there should be a little more positive regression coming for him in the future in those rushing touchdown numbers. Next player I'm looking at here is Austin Ekeler for over 5.5 rushing touchdowns. If you're just looking at the rushing touchdown numbers we've seen from Austin Ekeler in recent years, the 5.5 might seem a little high. He only had 1 last year, 3 the year before, and he's actually never had more than 3 in a season. We've never really seen Austin Ekeler get a full season as the workhorse back. It looked like he was going to have that role last year. Then he ended up getting injured. He only ended up playing about half the season. So that did a couple of things. Number one, that limited the amount of games he played. That lowers his touchdowns. But the Chargers were also a little conservative with him when he came back from injury. This year, as long as he's able to stay healthy, he should be in a really good spot. He's going to be the lead back for the Chargers this year. And with Justin Herbert in his second season, this should be a very good Chargers offense. Herbert looked exceptional his rookie year. So a good offense, and Austin Ekeler likely getting the bulk of the carries, over 5.5 touchdowns. That number looks pretty low. Nobody likes to fade Alvin Kamara, and that's why the last pick I have here certainly isn't going to make anybody feel comfortable. But Alvin Kamara over at PrizePicks is projected for over/under 9.5 rushing touchdowns. And that's a number that we have him falling short of quite a bit in our prop projections over at Awesemo.com. We have him projected for 7.6 rushing touchdowns. And to me, the biggest concern here is just what is the involvement of Taysom Hill going to be in the offense this year? It's something that anybody knows. If you played any kind of showdown contest for daily fantasy football, you know about the amount of times that Taysom Hill will vulture touchdowns in the red zone. And that could be an issue this year. With Drew Brees not in the picture, Jameis Winston appears he's going to be the start of the season, although we haven't found that for sure. And even if Winston does start in week 1, we don't know if that means he's going to be the quarterback the entire year. So Taysom Hill's still on the roster. He's still going to get reps in the red zone. And ultimately, I think that him being around is enough to limit the amount of touchdowns we see Alvin Kamara score. Not in a significant way, but enough for him to score less than 9.5. So to recap, the 3 players that I'm looking at over on PrizePicks, their rushing touchdown props, it is Lamar Jackson, Austin Ekeler, overs for them, and then Alvin Kamara to score less than 9.5 rushing touchdowns this season. If you guys want to put some money on these props, head on over to PrizePicks.com. Use the promo code Awesemo, get up to a $100 bonus on that first deposit.